But you don't realize how tough women are till you see your children born. Any guys ever here go with your wife to see your child born? Anybody do that? It's pretty amazing. But man, I got to admit, I felt kind of guilty when she's there in pain, and I did this. It's kind of my fault. And what made it worse is Brenda too. When she's in there, it's almost time, and she looks at me and says, "Why did you do this to me?" And I know it's a little inappropriate, but as a 20-year-old kid, I'm thinking because it was fun. But that's not right. And the nurse, the nurse and the doctor, they're standing there. They just kind of take like a time out when she says this, like I'm supposed to say something profound, and the doctor's kind of sitting there like a catcher, and the nurse is standing there like the umpire, like, okay, you're up. I didn't know what to do, so I just didn't say nothing. What could I say? I'm guilty, I'm guilty. I was definitely at the scene of the crime, and DNA evidences are just almost there, so I really couldn't say nothing, but still it's amazing. It's amazing too how quick a mom can bounce back, a half hour later she's on her feet. I want to take a shower, I'm kind of hungry, and then I didn't know what she was up to, because after she kind of sat there for a minute and kind of like soaked it all in, she says, "Come sit by me." I'm thinking, what? Hold me. I'm thinking, this is the way this whole circle of life thing started. I'm not sure I want to sit by somebody who's going to be hollering at me for in the next few months. So I wasn't sure. But we went home, and it was all good. It was all good. But it really makes you appreciate the woman. When you see a child be born like that, the toughness transfers to the rest of their life, because like that video shows, it's a tough job. But learn how to do this. It needs to be a priority in our life, but it's not an easy one, because sometimes you do want to whip the tar out of your kids. I understand, especially in the fast-paced life you're in. My second point here is you're a parent and not a friend to your child. In some ways, a mom looks like a friend, but some ways they still got to be a mom. And girls, I had the honor. I ain't going to embarrass the girl, but I had the honor of taking this young girl home from a movie with my wife, not just me and a young girl, but this girl was a princess, man. So thoughtful, mannerly, compassionate, and I'm thinking, man, I hope that stays, but it probably won't, I don't know. There's just a day when a girl walks in, and I don't know, teenage girls, I tried doing it in the first service. I don't know if I can do it, but that look a girl gives her mom when she thinks she's stupid, and she just they kind of do, and they walk away real, did I do it right? Is that kind of the way it looks? They all got that look, though. It's all, every one of them's got it. And a mom, the girls don't understand when their moms tell them about these boys. Nobody like a mom wants their daughter to be loved, appreciated, told they're beautiful, told they want to be with them forever. But see, that's where a mom and a friend are kind of the same. But the mom with the protective instincts, she knows that every boy that comes along is going to say that same thing. Every one of them do. We all did. Church guys do too. They did it too. Everybody says the same thing, because boys ain't quite thinking with a total. They got like a brain block a little bit, and they're not thinking quite right. But mom knows that. She wants it to be right. The protective instincts of the mom want it to be right. And I think the daughter knows that. They don't really think their moms are stupid. I think what they're really fishing for is a blessing. And I think there's an indicator that says they just want their mom's blessing. They don't really think their mom's stupid, is because a girl don't go ask their daddy on his opinions about these boys. A girl may come to their dad, "Oh, Daddy, how you doing? What's up?" And you reach for your wallet because something's getting ready to leave you. And but girls don't talk to their dad about the boys, because honestly, their daddy used to say these same lines, and they know their daddy would just soon choke the boy, not to kill him, but not to kill him to death, but just to choke him enough to know that he could. And I know this because I had one of them near choking experiences myself. And I was just out of school, 18, and the indicators here should that, and I knew I was wrong, but like I said, my head, brain activity was kind of shut off. This girl was under 18, I was 18. She's still in school, 30 minutes or so after curfew. I know I'm pushing it, but I don't care, and I'm giving this little girl a kiss goodnight underneath the street light. And there's this movie with Wesley Snipes in it. It's a vampire movie, and it's like the people are getting ready to get bit. I know I shouldn't watch these movies. You're right. This is wrong. But it's my kids' fault. But the people in the room before they're getting ready to get bit, they don't see the vampire. They just kind of feel them there, and on the screen you'll see it kind of shooting across there, but the people don't know it, but they know there's something there. Well, that's the way I was on the street corner with this little girl. I just had this sense that something was there, so I kind of peeped one eye open a little bit, and there he was, Wesley Snipes, standing right there in front of me, man. Only bigger, meaner, badder than he ever looked on TV. I mean, it's him. I thought about him when I seen that movie, actually. And he just walked up to her, and this girl, man, I mean, we're so busted. It's over. You know, there's no sense of getting smart. But teenage girl, she starts yapping her mouth at Dad. You know, I'm thinking, shut up. I could go to jail here. You know, and he says, you know, young lady, you know, you get home. I'll be there in a minute. And I could tell he was serious too, and she knew he was serious because she kind of held her butt when she walked away. And I thought this is a real dad here I'm up against. And I'm standing there when he walked up to me, you know. And I'm running about 40 miles a week, but this guy was a former college football player, and I knew for about 40 yards he had me covered. And I'm thinking, do I want to run? Then I thought back to that lesson my mom taught me, man. Don't run. You can't be, you know, don't run. I'm thinking, okay, Mom, I'm listening. I ain't running, but this is gonna hurt worse than that spanking. But he come up to me, you know, and he says, "That's your car down the street, boy?" I said, "Yes, sir, it is." He said, "Will I ever see it around here again?" I said, "No, sir, you will not." And her mom and her daughter used to come in the grocery store I worked at, and they'd be talking to me, and her mom was real friendly. "Oh, it's okay." I said, "What happened when we went home?" And she told me, so, "Well, he told her that you two lived in different worlds. You're out of school, and she's still in school. She's got a lot of growing to do, and this situation just probably ain't going to work out." And I'm thinking, dang, that dude's right, because my intentions were not honorable, you know, and he was right. He's absolutely right. And that kind of stuck with me. He says, "But you can come by if you want." I said, "No, I ain't, man. I'll give that dude my word I wasn't coming around." And not because I was scared that he's going to whoop me, because if he's going to whoop me, he would have whooped me the night he was mad when I was kissing on his daughter. I mean, that's for the time he was going to whoop me. So I wasn't scared of him, but I just felt like he was a man, and I wanted to be a man and honor my word. You know, I gave him my word, and I'm going to come around. And he was right. He was right. I was too old for his daughter. And I wasn't thinking right. I wasn't, you know, I was wrong. I was a young kid, you know. But anyway, he taught me something. He kind of brings these two elements together, these priorities together for me. He's passed away now. I never got to talk to him really. But he brought the two elements of discipline and parenthood, because he took his daughter home and talked to her. If he would have went home and wailed on her, she'd just come running to me, and I'd have been there. And so I know that's not right, but I would have. But he kind of brings these two elements in. He was a parent to his child, and he implemented discipline in a way that kept her right, kept me out of trouble, and gave a lesson that everybody could learn. And when I say make Christ a priority in your life, I'm not talking about church attendance. Don't think I'm going to beat you up about coming to church every Sunday. I'm not, because I was in sports. I know what it's like to run 2 time a day workouts and stuff. And by the time I got to be a junior and senior, the people I knew, they were starting to ditch the sports. They were starting to cut some of that stuff out of their life, because you're just getting burned out, man. You got to start thinking about the future. The same thing with my kids, and the same thing I imagine it is now. When you get to a point, kind of enough's enough in a way. And for you to force your kid to come here to church and to pack them in, to pack one more thing into their busy schedule, they're going to ditch it when they ditch their sports. They're not going to stay with it. And what a terrible thing to ditch an idea that you could be with Christ forever. You know what I mean? So I would rather you have your ministry at home. That's where the real ministry is anyway. I mean, that's where the mother's shaping her child at home. I remember Brenda reading them Bible stories. Brenda's always good for praying for meals. I mean, Brenda's been a good example at home. And that's meant more, I'd say, to my kids. Than not that the church isn't good, not that there ain't some great teachers in here, but the real ministry for a mom was at home. That's where it really happens. That's where the lessons I learned from 4 years on come from. That's where I like to implement on my kids, and that's where I like to transfer. But keep your priorities straight, you know. Try and keep God in there. Try and keep some of these couple, they're not really tips, but priorities that help on discipline and parenthood. Maybe they'll help you out.